Evening, welcome to Combe TV. What are we at? Episode 97. We're getting close to that big 100, aren't we? But welcome to you all. Good to see the questions and comments coming in. Tim Perry, evening all, dilly dilly. If you insist, mate, you know you can rely on me. Can't believe we're at the grand finals meeting on Saturday, last one of 2025. Where has the time gone? I know, mate. It's absolutely bonkers, isn't it? Rob Jones, hello, mate. It's good evening from sunny Radstock, the Radstock Rocket. We're not previewing your event this time, by the way. There's a slight tweak to this schedule. I know that we were previewing grand finals and the motorcycle national. We're doing that next Wednesday now. Max was trying to get a few people on board, and I think he might be busy at Alton Park as well. So that's happening next Wednesday now. So we get to focus purely on this weekend, and we got some special guests. I've got Kat's going to join me, so we're going to go into the detail of Saturday. We've got our Formula Ford champion, third time that he's nailed this championship, and he's wrapped up the 2025 version already. So Luke Cooper's going to be joining us, and delighted to say that we're going to bring on Keith Johnston, a name that I'm sure you've seen on the GT Championship, but he is now the vice chair of the Castle Combe Racing Club as well. So brilliant to see him join the board this year, and is a mug. I mean, he's taken to it like a duck to water, and we've got him even higher, and he's the vice chair, taking on even more. So we've got plenty we're going to be chatting about. We're going to try to work out the permutations of all the championships. I've been doing some quick maths, and I wouldn't trust me, but at least we get excited for the weekend no matter what. So that is the plan for this weekend. Joseph Bassett, good evening. See you on Saturday. See you there, mate. Ben Hayward, hello, mate. Hello, exciting times. It is, because you're in the fight for a championship, aren't you? Incredible. Tyler Garland says, can't believe it's already almost the last action day of the year. Can't wait. It really is, isn't it? The autumn the Halloween action day, we'll probably come on to that in due course in another episode. But I agree with you. Incredible. Did anybody go to the LZ World Tour on Saturday? What an event. What an incredible event, an incredible show. Everybody at the circuit did well. The whole LZ crew just did fabulous. And I have to give a big shout out to Titch, who quite late was asked to be part of the team, was really nervous, but he absolutely nailed it. I've worked with him on some of the action days. His first times behind the mic, and the boy is just nailing it now, and he was just brilliant. So really, really good for that. Right, let's get the full thing. Oh, another message coming in. Sorry, Lewis Bird Motorsport. Good evening, everybody. Just finished work and now time to relax and breathe, mate. Looking forward to watching some good close racing on Saturday. I agree. Before I bring out our first guest, I'm going to quickly have a quick intro of the other things that are racing this weekend. The Mighty Minis are with us. New ownership for the Mighty Minis. Big news, that one. Brand new website, which is great. Had a look through it earlier. Really nice website, and new a whole family that have picked up the ownership and they're running with it. And we've got the Championship Climax this weekend, where we have Ollie Samways leading the way in the 58 car at the moment, 314.5 points. I'm not sure where these points come from because we've got someone on point 3 as well, but 299 points for Greg Jenkins in second place. Third is Morgan Bartley on 276.7. And then Trevor Peters on 228.3, fourth in the standings at the moment. And you're talking 35 points, 33 points, 30 points, etc. as you work your way down through the championship standings. So mini racing, everybody loves minis, classic minis around Castle Combe. Cocking a leg like a dog having a whittle on the apex of the corner, aren't they? They're absolutely wicked, really close, momentum racing, absolutely love them. So they'll be entertaining us with what they got. They've got 2 races, haven't they? They round out the action, and their second race after lunch as well. So Mighty Minis are with us on Saturday, and always good value for money is the Monopostos. Their full championship has finished, but as many of you will know, is that they kind of have almost an autumn championship, the Reprise IT Tiedemann Trophy or Tideman Trophy, which is over 6 races, 3 different venues. They've already done Cadwell Park, and now they're with us. And we've got a mixture of Formula 3s, we've got Moto 1400s and Moto 1000cc engine cars, 2000s, classics, 1800s, 1600s, and of course we've got one of our local boys, Will Cox, and he actually has already won. He managed to get a great victory in the overall championship for his class as well. So we've got a wicked grid of single seaters. It does include things like the Jedis. Or what are they called these days? Formula 1000s, I think now, aren't they? But the Jedis are just obscenely quick. They've got lap records, outright lap records at some of the circuits around the country, or at least they did last I looked. They were normally battling with the supercarts at Cadwell Park and Alton Park, so they'll all of those, and F3 cars around our circuit. We always enjoy those, so it'll be good to see what happens with that one. It's sort of the middle event, basically, of the Tideman Trophy, so it's still fairly early. He says, I got too much paper printed out already. I've gone past it, haven't I? Let's have a look. At the moment, it's Matthew Horton leading the way in the 1000, Carl Wallace in second, only 4 points behind, Tom Wheatley in an F3 car in third on 35. So we've got 40 points, 36, 35, 34, 34, 32, 29, 20. It's close, basically. But they also have championships of the round. So there was the champion of Cadwell. We're going to have the champion of Combe and the Silverstone champion. That's where their third one's going to be. So that's the visiting bits. I'm going to bring out the force of nature that helps us all go and enjoy our racing. She keeps everything on schedule. She keeps everybody informed, and she's going to help me take us through this weekend. And I think we're going to have a little chat about the awards due, which of course is coming up with the climax of these championships. Let's bring out Kat. Evening, Kat.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. This is always a crazy busy time for you guys, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. Cheryl and I were talking about it today, thinking it's been a slightly quieter year in terms of the number of days we've had out there racing this season, but we've kind of still been busy, already thinking about next season. Yeah, it's bittersweet. Sorry, have you got a bit of feedback? Is that me? Are you all right? Can you hear me
It's
all right?
okay. It's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. So yeah, bittersweet. We kind of look forward to the end of season to be able to regroup, energize, get ready for next season. But in the same breath, it's also weird going into a few months of not seeing everybody and just keeping some momentum and some communication open. And yeah, we're going to miss seeing people, which is what we obviously really like to do. Not that we still have had a chance to see any racing, which, we try every season, but we just, I think the nature of a race day and kind of being slightly tied to a desk from a paperwork perspective makes it a bit difficult. So next year, personally, I'm working on maybe getting a couple of race days away from secretary role so that we can kind of go out and, just get to speak to everybody. So it's been nice seeing people at testing today and some old faces that we haven't had racing with us this season, some new racers who are joining us for finals. So even though it's been quite difficult, financially for a lot of people, it's good to have some, enthusiasm for finals and people coming to try it, ready to get going next season.
Yeah. Do I recall that there was one race meet? I don't remember which one it was, where you did get to see a little bit of it, and you were like, "Oh my word, this is brilliant."
It was the race meeting, I think from memory. It was in May, that, or was it the June one? God, I get distant memory, where Julian and Joe managed to secure themselves a win. So I kind of got to break away up to the bridge to scrutineering, just have a really good look at what happens outside of an office on a race day. So yeah, it was kind of just gave me a taste of what happens when we have no idea what's going on. We have our little TSL screen, we hear your commentary, and we get stuff fed through to us on the computer or by WhatsApp, and then it's 6:30 and we come outside, have our gin and tonic, and everyone's gone. So I did enjoy that. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
And that is actually quite depressing, isn't it, to come out into an emptied paddock? I've always thought that when I walk out the back of a commentary box after an exciting day, and you just go, "Wow, everybody's gone."
The weirdest thing is that we kind of do a lot of preparation, but everyone else is doing their own preparation to bring it all together. And then this team of people who don't see each other for weeks at a time all come together,
Yep.
and then it happens and it runs really well, and then it's over, and then we don't speak again for 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever it might be, and then we all come together and it happens, and it's probably something I've never really experienced in terms of a very small group of people doing their own little bit and then just somehow magically making it all happen. This cluster of a wave of orange,
Yes.
heading towards, the sort of pit lane at 7 a.m, and then they disperse and then they regroup at the end for their marshal's drink. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It is. No,
End of my fourth season, actually, this one.
that doesn't seem possible, does it? Fourth
I know.
season.
Still trying to play the new girl card. But
And it only seems like 5 minutes ago that we were introducing you as exactly that on the show. Wow,
it
that is
goes really
incredible.
quickly.
Yeah.
And then excited to say today we got some 2026 dates. So
Wow.
looks like I might have a job for another year at least.
Yeah, I know we're not necessarily ready to go into specifics, but is it looking good?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's got pen and paper and they just want to make a very brief note of where we are so far, we have a seniors training day tentatively scheduled for the 22nd of February. Marshall's training weekend tentatively scheduled for 7th, 8th of March. So again, wait for the confirmations for sure, but it might help you plan. A media track day will be 2nd or 3rd weekend of March. So that's when we kind of bring everybody in, have a bit of a warm up, shakedown, bit of a settle, get a track day underway. That's always really well received before season starts. 6th of April, Bank Holiday Monday, kicks off the main season. 4th of May, 25th of May. We're looking for one more day, hopefully between June and July. Then we have the 8th and 9th of August, 31st of August. 12th and 13th of September is the Autumn Classic, which is coming forward because Goodwood Revival has moved their date backward to our normal weekend. So we've had to rejig that. And then Grand Finals 3rd of October.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Great. It was such a relief to get the dates. It's because you can't really kind of move forward without those.
No.
And then you get them and then you start panicking about moving forward. It's a weird one.
No, I agree. I love the fact that I'm watching Keith and Luke note those down. They're all quickly noting down the dates. That's what I like to see, boys.
We literally had those from Graham yesterday afternoon. Had a quick Zoom with the ops team this morning just to check we were all singing off the same hymn sheet. And I asked the team if they would mind me just letting people know that we were pretty much there with, albeit a provisional calendar.
Absolutely.
It just helps because when you start seeing other clubs actually deliver their calendar for the next year, you kind of have a bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
That you're falling behind, and so exciting. And we'll obviously get that content out to people via RevUp and socials as soon as we've just dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
No, absolutely. No, it sounds good. Really, really exciting. Before we get to all of that, though, we've got a really busy weekend. 12 races, Kat. We've got 4 races even before the lunch grid walk.
Yeah, well, there's a story. There's always a story behind the timetable, This
Oh,
one is, I hate to say it, but the Saloon Car Championship constantly moan about having to go home late.
right.
So they're out first. So
Fair enough.
dare anyone get upset about having to get up early?
No,
And then
yeah, that would be the
yeah,
irony, wouldn't
exactly.
it?
It will be. But we felt that, it's nice for the home championships to actually really kind of enjoy the celebration that they'll have on Saturday.
Yeah,
And so after chatting with the team, we felt that if we had the monopostos on the grid walk at lunchtime, that gives our home champions the opportunity to kind of really be ready.
yep.
Yep. Does that make sense? And I think the monopostos were excited to be given the grid walk. So yes, it's a little bit of a later lunch, but after speaking with Helen previously, saying, as long as the marshals have a lunch and the teams have a lunch, what time it happens, it's not, too bad, really. Sorry, that's my daughter leaving in the window behind. Yes, so it is a few races before lunch. I've got no idea what the weather's going to do. Who knows what the weather's going to do? It will do what it's going to do,
Yeah.
and and then we'll kick off basically at 2 o'clock. I mean, obviously subject to things being jiggled around with weather and any other unusual motorsport things that might happen on a race day. So yes, good to get that map racing underway before lunch.
No, it is absolutely. It's let's crack on with it because we've got the 6 qualifying sessions before those 4 races, the lunch break, and then we see out the action with races. Before I go into the individual bits and pieces, Kat, I know that you were keen to also promote the 29th of November, the awards ceremony.
Absolutely. So for the second year running, we're going to be holding the awards ceremony at the Doubletree in Hilton, Swindon. It's on the 29th of November, as you said. So yes, it's open to, the racing community, but if there are any marshals out there or other kind of members of the fan base that would like to come and join us, it's kind of, you're most welcome. The booking form and the menu choices are all on our website, or people can just drop me an email and ask for some further information. So do book your space. It's a bit later in the season, but we felt that would be a really nice kind of, celebration of awards, but also moving in towards the Christmas period. So quite a nice time to, oh, well done, Ben's got his room booked already. Yeah, so if you are going to come and you are going to stay, the 4th of October is the actual closing date for the discounted accommodation that we've organised. After the 4th of October, the rate will go up to whatever the rate will be, knowing that they're nearly fully booked. So if you're coming and you haven't got organised, get your accommodation sorted soon, and then your booking forms to us, which we will have available at race day on Saturday, so that we can all have a good old knees up and listen to Chris Dawes talk about all things wonderful at Castle Combe and look dapper in his suit.
And get progressively drunk as the night progresses.
Couldn't possibly comment. Yeah, couldn't comment on that.
It's got to be done. It's a party. I do love it. I'm going to be exhausted because I'm commentating at Castle Combe on the day on the rally event first, and then hightailing it to the hotel, get tuxed up and down and on it.
I think you should get a chauffeur, perhaps.
That would be ideal, wouldn't it? Mind you,
Yeah.
I'll probably be more in control. I should probably meet the current Mrs. Dawes at the hotel, so
Yeah.
get away
Yeah.
with
Well,
that.
we'll be ready for you with a glass of something nice and cold to wet your whistle when you
Oh,
arrive.
yeah, you know me. I need the Dutch courage.
I know you say it, but we always you hide it well.
I know. Well, that's because I do enjoy it. I enjoy the adrenaline of it as well. So it is a good night. If you've never been, I recommend it very, very highly indeed. Just quickly catch up on a message. Tim Perry says, "Evening, Cap. Hope you're well. We'll catch up with you on Saturday." One of our
Sure
Orange
will.
Army. Yeah. Sav, evening, mate. Good to hear from you, buddy. Hope you're well. Chris Ree, another one of our Orange Army. Evening, all. Evening to you, mate. I know you had a busy time at the LZ World Tour as well. What I'm going to do then, Kat, is that if you and I just have a little bit of a chat about two of the championships, and then I can let you go, and we'll bring out one of our other guests that will talk about the GTs, and of course we got a champion to discuss with regards to the Formula Ford. So let's start with South Cerney Engineering Saloon Car Championship, which as you've said, they're the first ones out this time, aren't they?
They are. I like you. Oh, did you do yours on A3 as well?
No, mine's on A4.
Oh, is it? Oh no, I think Cheryl was being kind to me by printing mine out on A3 just so I could see them properly while I was talking to you, or talking with you. Yeah, we're I know Luke's secured the championship for Formula Ford, but I think looking at the points tables, it's so tight.
It is. It really is. I mean, we're obviously because they score 9 out of the 10 rounds, don't they, for the saloons?
They do. So I know for sure that there will be a dozen keen racers who've already gone through every possibility of where this is going to end up. Cheryl and I had a quick look today to try, and then we kind of decided that actually we just didn't want to spend too much time jinxing things. So we've got all the tables here ready. We kind of know that it's so tight at the top that it's going to be super exciting. And yeah, we kind of can't wait to celebrate with everybody.
No,
on the big stage, hopefully, weather permitting. Yeah, so we're going to use the big stage for this one. Yeah,
and I think that we again, weather permitting and car permitting, we're using the winner's car as well, so that the crowd can give them all a bit of a wave. Now, I think, bearing in mind, we've also got things to take into consideration. So if there's 2 or less drivers, they only score 9 for a win instead of 10. Etc. So taking that into account, Mike Good is leading the way on 80 points total in Class D, and I think at the moment it's just him and what am I looking there? It's here. It's just him and his dad in Class D.
Yeah. So you've got Mike on 80. You've got Mark Wyatt on 69 and Bill Brockbank on 68.
But it is actually closer than that, because when you work out what the maximum, I went through and worked out the maximum points, and I apologise in advance if these are wrong, and there's every chance they are. We're safe hands on Saturday because my co-commentator is Ian Salmon, who is an accountant, and he'll be all over this with the live working out things. But Mike Good, his maximum points that he can get, by my reckoning, is 90 points, because he's still got a drop, and he's going to be dropping a maximum point. So that's the maximum he can do. Yeah. Then Mark Wyatt, his maximum that he can do, and the bad news for him is that he's only got 1 at the moment in his class. That could change. We never know. Late entries. 89...
Yeah, I have got some late entries.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
That could be interesting, but I'm not sure we will in Class B particularly, because Kieran Simmons is now sunning it in Benidorm. I had to stomach a photo of him topless at the pool, but there we go. 89 points is the maximum I've worked out Mark can get. So it's doable, bearing in mind if something goes wrong for Mike Good, then Mark Wyatt's able to capitalise on that and take advantage. But you've then got Wayne Rushworth and James Blake, both in Class C. I believe the maximum they can get is 84 points, both of them, which is incredible. So that's Class C up for grabs on the last race day.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and Bill Brockbank could get 83, I believe, is the maximum. So it is incredibly tight. If Mike Good has a faultless day, it's his to lose, is one reality. But motor racing doesn't work like that.
Absolutely. And I think that it's really strange looking at a table. I know the drop score is something that probably is a bit of a bone of contention and will be up for discussion in the next season. But I guess it does all help to just work out where everyone needs to be for the end of the season. And it could go any way, couldn't it?
It really could. I would imagine the one thing that might be looked at is that the difference of only 1 point is maybe not sufficient if there's 2 or less, but then if you're on the other side of that, you'll think that it's not unfair, full stop. But you can never please everyone, Kat, can you, in motorsport?
No, and I know I'm still probably the one that's the most naive and the lacking in any experience in terms of motorsport, but it's a really difficult one to know what you can do to make sure that you're as inclusive as possible and you allow people to race in whichever class they want to race in,
Yeah.
and not make somebody feel that it's not worth taking part because they're never going to achieve any. Does that make sense?
It is, and at the same time, is that if they're the only one in it or the only two in it, there will be arguments for and against. And the
Yeah.
vice chair's probably down below there, getting panicky that we're going to say the wrong things. Don't worry, Keith, we're stopping now. Uh, there is
Stop
no
with the
right answer.
mess.
Exactly. So that's the Saloon Car Championship, the South Sony
Yep.
Engineering Saloon Car. They're race 1 and race 7 on the day, and
Yes.
the
Yes.
entry list is looking pretty good, I have to say. Harrison Chamberlain, Bill Brockback, Pete Elliston, Todd Carter, Hayden King, Mark Wyatt, James Keeping, Tim Swift, Wayne Rushworth, John Lannon. Oh, good to see John back. James
No, I
Blake.
think he's got no, his car's kaput.
Oh, I
I
was
know.
chuffed to see that then as well. Mike Good,
Yeah.
Roger Good, Nick Adams, Will DeClaudio's back out in his 106. He's in the invitation class, as is Connor Harris in his Ford Fiesta. And we've got some additions as well, did you say?
Yeah, so I haven't got my bulletin with me at the moment because that's still a work in progress. So that's got the late entries and the withdrawals. So there's been a bit of movement. I did see John Wills out testing this afternoon in his Maestro.
Oh, bless him. I hope he is out there.
Yeah, but I don't think it went particularly well. So I think he'll come and attend as sponsor of the championship, but won't actually be out there racing. And yeah, so this is the hard part for me, this part of the week where I dread the phone call or the text or the WhatsApp of crap, my something's fallen off and it's not repairable. But then and I feel for people at that point, but then you might get a phone call like I had a Formula Ford phone call today from somebody that said, is it still time to come and join? So they always have a way of balancing themselves out, the numbers of withdrawals versus late entry. So yeah, so the Saloon Car Championship is going to be, well, they're all going to be interesting to watch, aren't they?
They really are.
No Adam Preble. He couldn't get his car sorted.
That's a shame.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. We have a personalized flag for each champion this year, so they can take the flag home with them, because the last 2 years it's ended up going home and we don't know where. So this year we decided to actually make one for each champion and they can keep it anyway.
Oh,
so
lovely. Oh, that's nice, because they
really
make good
luck
photos.
to everybody.
Yeah, good photos, those
yeah,
ones.
Absolutely.
The final one to preview with you, Kat. The Nankang Tires Hot Hatch Championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is incredibly close, to be honest with you. One that I'm pleased to see that he's on the entry list, Jason Stack, because that was a big issue that he had at the last race meet, but that he's back on the entry list.
He is. So I think it was probably I'm sure he won't mind me saying, but because we caught up with him today at testing, that moment of thinking, well, maybe I just call it a day. And but actually, no, back for finals. So really glad to have him back out there.
It really is. I've just got to put this message up because this is amazing. Andrew Miles. So I'm in the mono race, Formula Ford, racing for Fern GP with an F3 driven by Nigel. I've been talked into a race, first race for 20 years. I raced Combe Formula Ford for 10 years. And he remembers a 40-car grid. Pat Blakeney, Rob Jones, Alan Cooper, Lee's dad, Robin Parsons, Ed Moore. Old guys now, let's keep it dry, please. That's a wicked to see you coming back, Andrew. I look forward to that one.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
That will be. Just quickly while I'm catching up, our very own Emma Strawford. Evening, Emma. Hope you've got the red on the go. And Craig Cook, hello, mate. Hello, all. Hoping to be there Saturday. That'd be good to see you, mate. Definitely. So, yes, the Nankang tyres. So let's go from the top of Ben Hayward that we heard from earlier. By my maths, because again, this is 9 out of 10 count. 84 points maximum. He's on 68 at the moment. He could get 84.
Yeah.
That's in Class E. obviously for the
Yeah.
minis. Class D, Sam Williams, he could get a maximum of 82 by my maths because he's able to drop a DNF.
Yeah.
So that's only 2 point less if everybody scores max there. Then you've got Julian Ellison in Class C, 78 points maximum, I believe he can get. And probably the last to really be in the mix for the overall, Jason Stack could get 74 points.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that currently Ben Hayward's on 68, that still
Yeah.
means that he is in the mix. Tall order, but he's in the
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know what's fascinating is you could have this chart ready at the beginning of the season with no scores in there at all, and then you could have someone like Ben who came to race for the first race and said, one, that's it, that's all I'm
Yeah.
doing, I won't see
One
you
more.
again,
One
I'm
more.
never coming back. And then, oh, actually this is going quite well, I'm guess what, I'm coming back. Oh no, but that's definitely it, I am not coming back
Yeah.
anymore. And then here we are, look, just at the last race meeting of the season with that potential. But I've got I'm just having a quick flick through my list to see if anything major's changed on here in terms of late entries. I think, it's still strong. I think we lost a couple today. Adam Wilkes was going to be coming back to race after breaking his back earlier in the season, but really strong recovery. And then he was let down by his engine people today, so
Oh, that's a
his car's
shame.
not going to be ready. So we were we went from sort of 29 down to 25 and then up to 26, and it's had a real ebb and flow, that entry list this week. But I think it's again going to be fabulous racing.
Definitely, it's going to be close. It's going to be exciting, and it really is going to keep us on our mettle, trying to work out who's won the championship. It might be the usual thing. It's double headers. They're race number 4, the last one before lunch, and race number
Yeah.
10, and
Yeah.
it could be sort of put to bed before lunch, but I just have a feeling it's going to go right down to that last race to be absolutely certain. So.
We hope we kind of made the timetable work, that it really is down to the last bit. But again, we will see, won't we, what happens. And I've no doubt that there'll be lots of it. What I find is that the finals meeting, there's a kind of slightly subdued, quiet calm in the paddock. Every other race meeting it's quite buoyant and bubbly, but when it gets to finals it's much more still and quiet, and everybody's like getting into the zone. So I'll do my little walk around tomorrow evening quite late, and then head home so that everybody just hopefully goes to bed, has a good night's sleep, and then is ready to go. Because it's worth noting, there are briefings for people for each of the championships. Just really, I know it's a pain sometimes, but I think it was important that the club touch base with everyone racing to say, we've been so grateful for you all joining us this season, spending your hard-earned cash, highs and lows as always, but we very seldom get the chance to thank everybody in person. So it'll be just a reminder to have fun, race with respect, appreciate what we've got going on. There'll be some people racing for championships, some that won't. If you're not, please be mindful of that, if that makes sense. And then just really hope that everybody has a brilliant time.
No,
But if you could let
agreed.
us know, Chris, when you know the answers to things, quickly WhatsApp me, because we're sometimes 5 minutes behind.
I
So
will
if you know
try.
something,
The problem is
yeah,
we're then talking about the next thing, so we don't get the chance to really
I
message you. But we'll
know.
try and keep
We
you abreast.
should have somebody there specifically to literally like run with some points boards or something, so that we know where
Absolutely.
everybody is.
We should get some of
Yeah.
those, the display where it's live ticker updating the points. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps you should ask your Wildcats if they could spare one.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, get something
There you
like that.
go.
That would be wicked. I shall end up seeing you up there probably therefore tomorrow, Cat, because I'm hosting the racing school up there tomorrow. So I'm
Yeah.
sure people will be arriving while I'm still there.
Yeah,
So
I will be there in the Strawford Centre probably until, I usually kind of hang around until sort of 8ish, something like that. just at that point, if there's not something that you need, it can probably wait until the next morning. But come and see me in the Strawford if you need help with anything, really, even just a cup of tea or a quiet chat or a positive vibes only, though,
Is that
please.
on when you're in the Strawford?
Tomorrow. So I'll be there. I'll be at the circuit all day, and then I
You won't be
usually
in the
go to
Strawford
Strawford.
because we'll be in the Strawford with the racing
No,
school.
I mean, when you go,
Ah, you'll
then I
jump
have to
in there.
start. So I'll be at the circuit office, but when you finish the racing school, I then
Yeah.
have to lug all the heavy boxes
Yeah.
over to the Strawford and start setting up. So it's quite nice if anyone's around, just pop in and say hello, and yeah,
Cool.
and
I love it.
for the
I love
last
it.
time in 2025, yeah.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? Joe Shingler, one of our Orange Army as well, looking forward to final Castle Combe race meet on four wheels, that is, for this season as post chief at Camp Corner. Bless you, mate, and thank you all for your incredible work there. Lulu Tupu says, should go back home this weekend, but take day off to go to Grand Final. Home is France, by the way. You don't want to go home then. You want to be over here, Lulu, so you can watch the race day. It's going to be amazing. Kat, thank you so much for joining to go through that. We managed to whirlwind tour around two of our championships, the race day in general, next season's provisional dates, and the awards do. I think we've done all right there for the first part.
We did. It's been good to actually be able to speak openly for a little, about the season. Can I just say thank you again from the team and to everyone, the marshals, racers, the spectators, and everyone else really that gives up so much time for what is probably the most mental hobby out there, I would suggest. But nonetheless, it's worth every minute of the excitement that you get from being out there on a race day.
100%. Don't go anywhere
Yeah,
because we're going to find someone we're going to speak to someone next who's definitely going to agree with that sentiment that it is well worth it. Kat, thank you for joining us. Very much
pleasure.
appreciated. Let's have a
My
chat
pleasure
with
as always.
someone. Let's have a chat with someone who has won his third championship. He is the 2025 Castle Combe Formula Ford champion. It's Luke Cooper. Champ,
Hello, good evening.
how are you, mate?
Yeah, really good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. This is probably the least Luke Cooper championship win that we've ever seen because normally you end up with so much bad luck right up to the last minute, don't you?
Yeah, both the previous championships were quite dramatic at the end. The first one with an engine blow up and the second one with a crash. So it's quite nice to have a more relaxed win this time.
Well, I mean, massive congratulations on it, and three championships is absolutely amazing and really really impressive. But how do you feel going into this weekend? It's got to be new territory for you, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's more for me just going to be fun on that side of things. You've got to take there's no pressure whatsoever. It's just
Yeah.
get out there and enjoy it and make sure everything's working well with the car ahead of the two big end of season events.
No, well, yes, of course. So you'll be doing the Formula Ford Festival and the Walter Hayes.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! So yeah, so that does put the pressure off you nicely. Tim Perry, one of our Orange Army, says, "Hello, champ. How you doing?" Nice to see that. Um, it's quite an unusual one for the Formula Fords. We get to sit back and just enjoy the show with no one under any undue pressure. Because if I can just quickly for a second make sure everybody's aware, so Luke Cooper has won the outright championship with a mammoth 182 points already. He's also won Class A, 94 points, which is again a very comfortable margin to say the least. Class B has been won by Nathan Ward again. He's done brilliantly there because it was looking very tight, and at the moment he's sat second overall in the championship standings, which will be really impressive if he can do that. Wicked to see. Class C, Wayne Paul winning that championship. Now, Luke, you've got to be the same as me. That is a name that, although we're very different ages, you and I, we've both grown up watching Wayne Paul racing and then running teams. It's so cool to see, isn't it?
Very much so. It's great to see him racing this year, and yeah, even better to see him win the championship.
Exactly, and as by my maths, he has done enough because I think Dane Catanzaro, the best he could get is 85, and Wayne's already on 87, so I'm pretty sure he's wrapped that one up. And Peter Lavender, Class D Championship in an absolutely beautiful car, to say the least. Interesting thing to share with us, Luke, because there's been some times when you've had battles with Class B cars. And in fact, haven't we had a Class C that's even been with you at one point as well? Explain to people what the differences are between those cars that does actually facilitate that occasional battle into class.
So the classes, they all have the same engine, so they're all pretty similar in a straight line. Some of them are slightly more aerodynamic, but the main difference is the grip through the corners. The more modern cars generally have a bit more traction. The older cars slide a bit more through the corners. And the terms of outright lap time isn't a massive difference, so it can provide good racing through all the classes.
An interesting point here, because Lewis Bird Motorsport said Nathan Ward in A class next season. It isn't as simple as that, is it, Luke? Because there are certain people that do not get on with the Class A cars. They love the slippier side of Class B, don't they?
Yeah, the cars have a different driving style, so each of the cars you have to drive slightly differently. The older cars, generally, you need to be able to slide them a bit more through the corners, and the newer cars are a bit more precise and less forgiving. So if you make a mistake in one of the newer cars, it's generally easier to spin out or have it off.
Yeah, because I mean Nathan's a prime example. He's a master with the slippy slide in Class B. Richard Higgins, I've always said that he looks more at home in a Class B car as well. I'm sure I had a conversation when he jumped into a Class A, and he just didn't quite like that pointier style of the racing. And it you know, you got strengths and weaknesses in different classes. Is I find that interesting to watch them. There's no question that it's still one of the most entertaining formulae to watch, isn't it? Formula Fords. It's just so close.
Yeah, 100%. It's a shame that the grid's been a bit lower this year than some of the other years, but the racing, when you've got cars close together, it's always going to be great racing. It's always going to be close and quite unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tomorrow we've got the racing school, which obviously your dad set that up 40 years ago, I think it was. He was saying the other day. And you can go in the Formula Fords there. Now, when you go in the racing school Formula Fords, we always have a chuckle that the wing mirrors are just useless, frankly, because they're just vibrating and small and anything. Are they a bit better on the race-prepared cars?
A little bit better, but there's still not an awful lot you can see from them. You've got to try and have very good peripheral vision and good awareness around you.
But there's my key thing. I always make the point of saying anybody who's had a go in those Formula Fords on the racing school, you have to come and watch them racing, because you guys will all too readily go up Avon Rise into Quarry, not just 2 wide, but even 3 wide at times.
Yeah, coming along to a racing school day and driving one of those cars will really give you a feeling of what it's like to be behind the wheel of one, and then try and imagine what it's like in a racing situation.
And the honest answer is I can't. I genuinely cannot. I mean, do you have almost a sixth sense that even if you can't see them, you do feel their presence, without meaning to sound all Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker on you there?
Yeah, very much so. You kind of get into a feeling where you've just got really good awareness around you, and you can kind of just know where people are around you. Obviously, having a quick glance in the mirrors to help. But yeah, it is kind of just awareness.
It is incredible, and presumably a lot of trust in each other.
Very much so. With the wheels, it's so easy that a slight misjudgment just involves interlocking wheels, contact, and it's race over in a Formula Ford. So you've got to have trust in the people you're racing against and know where to position your car and where not to position it.
And that's a key thing, isn't it? We've seen it many a time where you can see what looks like a really bad decision, but it's made in the blink of an eye with millimeters to spare, and that's the excitement of the racing, but it's also the risk of where it can go wrong as well.
Very much so. And having split-second decisions when you've got 3-4 cars in a battle, it's very easy for it to go wrong in that split second.
No, I agree. You know full well, I've had this conversation many a time that I think Formula Ford is such an important rung on a ladder for even career racers. I know there's a reason why it gets missed because you've got to be a bit older before you can start racing it, unfortunately. But the critical thing for me, no wings, no slicks. It is mechanical grip that you learn by force to master.
Yeah, 100%. You can learn so much from driving Formula Ford cars, and it's really a testament to it to see how many people have driven Formula Ford and gone on to higher levels, how well they do at those higher levels.
And not just single seaters, even though there's many that have gone into GT racing. I always remember, do you remember a guy called Kieran Haggerty, a Scottish racer that was kind of looked after a little bit by Dario Franchitti in his earlier career? Sadly, ran out of money because he was a phenomenal talent. And I remember that he went up to race, and I can't remember whether it was F4, GB4, that thing's changed name numerous times. And they were at Snetterton and they were on slicks and it started raining halfway through and everybody else was throwing it off onto the grass. And because of his success in Formula Ford, he was like, let's do this. He was able to drive that car with much less grip. And that was from what he learned in Formula Fords.
Yeah, 100%. There's a similar situation with Wayne Boyd in Formula 3 as well, where it started to rain out on slicks, and it really shows the difference when you know how to drive with little grip out there. When you lose that grip, all of a sudden the drivers with that experience and knowledge really come to the front.
It does, and I see it plenty of times in GT racing these days and all sorts as well. It really does teach you some valuable lessons. It's kind of, it doesn't do it justice, but it is almost big boys karting, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. If you've driven karts, Formula Ford is kind of that step up where you still got a feeling the karts dance around, cars dance around a bit as well. It's just a bit faster, but you're still sat on the floor, still dancing the car.
It is bonkers, and there's not a lot of space in those things, is there at all? It's pretty tight. I mean, do you get to race with a bit of a smile on your face and enjoy it, or is it so frantic in there and so small and sort of semi-terrifying with not much to see around you that it's not until afterwards, or can you enjoy it at the time?
And no, definitely you can enjoy it at the time. Again, you've got to have the trust in the people that you're racing with as well. But sometimes when it starts raining while you're out there, driving in the wet is really fun. One of the big difficulties there is visibility. That's not so fun driving when you can't see anything, but the nature of the car driving in slippery conditions, so it kind of sliding about underneath you and you kind of being on the edge of control is amazing fun.
No, I can imagine it just looks epic. I've always thought that going up Avon Rise into Quartz Quarry, just especially on that at the start, must be phenomenal adrenaline levels.
Yeah, and when you've got people either side of you, it's having that trust in everyone around you and trying to make sure you come out the other side.
How long have you been racing Formula Fords now?
15 years, quite a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? And yet you're still a whippersnapper in reality compared to fogies like me. But and it just doesn't seem like your enthusiasm is dampening. I think, was it last year it got close when you were getting bad luck on an engine that just seemed weirdly underpowered. You were getting close to losing your passion for it there, I think.
Yeah, there's so many different natures of motorsport, and what tends to happen is you have a lot more bad days than you do good days. But I still absolutely love driving, and yeah, I'll continue to do so as long as I can.
That's what I like to hear. Ben's made a good point. Ben Hayward, that's fighting for the Hot Hatch Championship, says Wayne Rushworth is driving the WPR Wayne Poole Racing Formula Ford at the Walter Hayes in November. I mean, that must be a phenomenal event.
It is, yeah. It's so many cars, so many different speeds, and the variation in both drivers, cars, and everything. And with the nature of being the Silverstone National Circuit, lends itself to really good racing as well. It's a brilliant event to be part of, to be spectating in, and just all round amazing.
Yeah, I do recommend for anybody who hasn't been to the Walter Hayes yet, go to it. The stand becomes like a football stadium, basically. Everybody will have their favourites and they'll be cheering for them, and it's quite incredible. Equally, though, I can imagine it's frustrating as a driver because there tends to be quite a lot of political fallout by the end of a weekend because mistakes get made by so many drivers all together, and only one person wins it, so...
Yeah, political ways. Bad subject for me from what happened last year. Yeah.
Well, quite, yeah, exactly. And the reality is, Luke, most drivers have got a story to tell from the years they've done it, haven't they?
Yeah. It's
It is.
one of the amazing things about it. There's always a story from it. There's always amazing drives that stand out and people remember it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, that's Silverstone National. Week before that, you've got the Formula Ford Festival at Brands Hatch, and of course the Indy circuit of Brands Hatch has just got to be epic for the Formula Fords as well.
Yeah, Brands Hatch is more of a driver's circuit, and it's always provides good racing there as well. It's got more history than the Walter Hayes because there's going all the way back, and so many Formula One drivers have got their name on the board. That adding that to the winners of the Formula Ford Festival is always incredible.
Yeah, I think I've always thought it's clever that they do it because aren't they consecutive weekends? Aren't they?
It changes year to year.
Oh, does it?
And yeah, sometimes they're a week after each other. Sometimes they're 2 weeks apart.
Okay.
Depends a little bit on the calendar.
Certainly the intention is for them to be close, isn't it? Because we get a lot of people coming from abroad to race in these ones, don't we? And quite often they'd come over for both events and stay there. Because the Walter Hayes, I don't know what it's like for the festival. The Walter Hayes is like testing for what, 2-3 days leading into it?
Yeah, both events have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday testing.
Wow.
The majority of drivers that are taking it seriously, or the ones that are coming from abroad, will do all those 6 days worth of testing to best prepare them for the event.
It sounds epic. It really, really does. Obviously, I'm getting excited about your racing for the rest of the year there. We've still got one more to go at Castle Combe. It really is just to sort of relax and enjoy it this weekend for you for a pleasant change.
Yeah, it's the tension still obviously to try and win, but yeah, it's no pressure event, so I can enjoy it more than most.
I mean, that's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because that's when you can take your eye off it, but equally, it's where you can be just cleaner because everything's relaxed rather than tense.
Yeah, sometimes being in racing situations keeps you a lot more focused. When you're more kind of thinking about things, it's a lot easier to make a mistake because you can think about something a little bit too much, delay it. And if you think about changing down a little bit too early, you can lock the rear wheels up and spin yourself out of the race. You've got to try and remain as focused as possible.
I've always been amazed at the control you all have in the Formula Fords. I remember I got to go out in Formula Ford on the racing school, and it was drizzling, which is the worst, isn't it, for drivers? You want it to be one thing or the other. It was drizzling, and I went round Old Paddock, and I was doing everything I normally did, and then because of the dampness, it suddenly realised I was spinning round to the infield, and I was like, oh, I have no idea why I just did that. and I just couldn't pinpoint, but that's how easy it is to lose it in those cars, isn't it?
Yeah, you do a lot of the driving by the seat of your pants and just feeling the car underneath you. And when it starts to break away, you've got to be prepared and know exactly how it's going to handle when it starts to do that.
Which I didn't, so that was fine. That's why I'm in the commentary box, not out on circuit. Luke Cooper, listen, mate, many congratulations. 3 championships. I don't think you're done yet either. Best of luck on Saturday. Best of luck, of course, in the 2 big events at the end of the year. And well done, mate. Flying the flag. You're one of our own as well, which always makes it nice.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that, mate. Much appreciated. So that was Luke Cooper, who was the champion of Formula Fords this year. Coming up next, we've now going to introduce Keith Johnston, who is now the vice chair, as I said, and he's been racing GT. So let's have a look and see what the GT is going to do. Thanks, Luke. Catch you later.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnston, you well? You can't hear me now, can you? Oh, he's lost. We've lost him. He was working earlier. Hang on. He's just going to be sending me a message. We'll find out what's happening. He can't hear me. We've lost Keith. I'm going to. So Keith was racing the GTs. I'm going to put me up to full screen so that he's still there, but we can just hide him. I'm going to let him know that we can hear him, but for some reason the audio's gone on him. Don't know what's happening.
Can you hear me okay, Chris?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you can't hear us.
What you're saying.
Okay, so let's go back out and come back in. Let me just do this, and then we'll be able to see what happens there. Let's put him back in there. So hopefully we'll get Keith to join us. I'll tell you what I will do whilst we go through. See, it proves that this is live as well. You know, we're not hiding anything. This is live, and they say never work with children, animals, and Chris Dawes. Just never work with those. You're always in trouble. So we were going to move on to the Avon Tune-In GT Championship. And again, we've just been getting some amazing cars entering this, and we've got Dave Scaramanga out in his Ferrari 488, Dylan Popovic, who is leading the championship fight at the moment, back out in his Ginetta, such a monster of a piece of kit that. Keith Butcher in his Lamborghini Huracan Evo GT3, and I think he's doing it on his own this time. And Richard Guy in his Mosler. Hopefully he's going to be there. I know that the Moslers, let's just try. Can you hear us now, Keith?
I've got you loud and clear now, Chris.
That's it. See, don't panic. That's the beauty of being live. Kat, thank you. I've just seen your message that Craig Dolby is a late entry. So Craig Dolby presumably out with Keith Butcher. Is that right, Kat? Hang on, I'm going to just bring her out. Hang on, Kat. 2 seconds. Kat, is Craig Dolby...
I was typing...
That's all right.
I was typing you a message.
So
yes,
Craig Dolby's in, but is that in Keith Butcher's car?
No, that's in Nigel Mustall's car, isn't it? So Keith Butcher's racing with Sasha Kakad.
Of course it was. Yes, sorry, my bad. But is Sasha Kakad racing this time as well?
Yeah, with Keith.
Okay, good. So that's an additional...
So he's Keith's number 2.
Yeah.
And then is he not showing on the entry list, Sasha?
No.
He is showing on the entry list.
Oh, not the one I printed today, it wasn't. Oh, yeah, sorry. I tell you what, I didn't realise it's over on the far right-hand side. Sorry, my bad. I've got it.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you were complaining about my administrative ability.
No, I wasn't complaining. I just didn't know. I'll always be happy if there's extra drivers there, Kat. Don't you worry about that.
You can put me back now in the green room.
Okay, thank you, Kat.
Bye.
I thought we'd stitch her up there, Keith. Why not? But welcome, Keith. Thank you for joining us, mate.
Thanks, Chris. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, and thank you for your patience. Sorry, buddy. We this ended up being a full-on show, this one, didn't it? And I didn't want to rush any of those chats, so
really good information. I was listening in on what Luke was saying and listening on Kate, what Kat was saying about the dates for next year as well. I know we've all been waiting for those for sure to make an assertive start. I know 2025 hasn't finished yet, of course not, but there is a lot of there's sort of an eye already on the 2026 calendar to try and get that in place as well.
Well, the reality, as we know, Keith, is that it needs to, but we're even quite late with that, really, aren't we? Because a lot of the championships are already locked in. So
indeed. So we, obviously that's what we have, and that's what we'll work with. And we've got the dates now, so we can work with what we have, and then we'll look to try and release some dates for 2027 a little bit earlier. As you know, Marcus Pies. That was a bit of a coup on Ken's part to get Marcus on board as a competition secretary. Late to the party in that sense, only sort of announced in August. But he's a fantastic guy, and hopefully will get us a good, good sort of competition for 2026. bring in some visiting grids, and he's got some fantastic ideas to promote racing at Castle Combe.
No, absolutely, and he's definitely a massive advocate of Combe, as we know. Goes back a long way with Howard Strawford as well, so that will be interesting. Now, before we come on to your vice chair role, you have been racing in our GT Championship as well, haven't you?
I have been racing, and 2025 has been a sabbatical year for me. I've taken some time out. Thoroughly enjoyed racing GTs and sharing the grid with a really, really great bunch of guys and girls, and thoroughly enjoyed my time with them. So I don't think it'll be, I'm not retiring from racing for sure. Certainly come back at some point. Whether that's in the Ginetta or another car is yet to be seen. Hopefully we're working on having my Ginetta on the grid for 2026, albeit I won't be driving it. But yeah, it's we'll see. We'll see what happens then.
And that's the good thing, is that you know what racing's all about. You know what the GT Championship is all about in particular as well. And you only joined the board this year, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So it was. I knew I'd made a conscious decision at the back end of last year. We made an absolute conscious decision to race all events through 2024. I knew I was having to stop at the end of 2024, and it just coordinated it much around about this time last year. Actually, we had a message came out on our WhatsApp group, and Cat put that forward and said they're looking for new board members, certainly because some of the board members were resigning and had no intention of being re-elected. And I thought, actually, I know what goes into making a race day isn't simply just turning up and driving your car, and preparation and everything that goes and sits behind that. There's a lot more besides, with all the administration and the marshalling and all the medical teams and so on, and yourself and commentary, and especially the operations team that sits with the club. So that actually, if I'm not going to be taking time, my time's not going to be consumed preparing and running a racing car, then actually I'll be able to give back to the club this year. So I put my name forward, and here we are.
Yeah, and you've been suckered right in now, haven't you?
It's like being, when you were at school and you were all stood in a line, and the headmaster asked for a volunteer, and then you're all still, you haven't moved, and then everyone around you is taking a step back.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happened here. Exactly.
It is. And of course, there's no hidden secret, is that Ken's already been sort of thinking of his succession and things like that. And there needed to be a vice chair. That's not obviously guaranteed, that succession, but it certainly makes it more comfortable that there is a potential succession there.
Yeah, and regardless of whether that comes to fruition or not, that's not in my hands at all. But Ken is an absolute font of knowledge in anything to do with racing at Castle Combe. He's the go-to man for that, and has steered the ship for a very long time and very successfully. So the intention is for us to spend a lot of time together to glean a bit of his knowledge, to try and take things forward in his absence until the next, the chairman is elected.
Yeah, no, which is good. Otherwise, it's too late if you start thinking about it at that point. It's way too late.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty, as you say, Ken's knowledge, but also his passion. People may not necessarily appreciate that he leads from the front in terms of not just the work and everything else, but he would do anything for Castle Combe Racing Club.
He lives and breathes the club for sure, and he works exceptionally closely with Kat and Joel, and making sure that upcoming Saturday, any race day, you only have to be at a race day to understand how smoothly it runs. And that's it's not by luck that is the case. It's a lot of prior management that goes into making that work. So hopefully can bring something to that as well, take on board some of the things that Ken has suggested. But equally, in the time that I haven't been racing this year, I've been trackside on race days, had conversations with races, not necessarily just in the GTs. I mean, we are, obviously that's where my passion lies, and I always make sure I go and speak to the guys and see what's going on. But equally, just touching base with some of the other competitors, just to keep my finger on the pulse, understand what's going on, understand what people's desire is moving forward. As a club, we exist to provide a racing fraternity for people to come and enjoy their racing. And if they're not necessarily enjoying it for whatever reason, we need to understand why that is the case and what we can do to try and put things right. Clearly, we can't please everyone, but that's the nature of racing for sure. But listening to people and listening to what people would, what their wants and desires are from moving forward is important, especially in challenging climates as we are at the moment.
It is for everybody. It's challenging in motorsport without question. And I mean, I think that for me, everything you've just said there, for people who maybe don't understand the difference, is that sums up why the racing club exists. It also sums up why, for example, MSVR, Motorsport Vision Racing, exists as well as Motorsport Vision. Castle Combe Circuit, Castle Combe Racing Club is that as a racing club, able to spend that focus and that time interfacing with the drivers and the teams and everything like that to make that work, whereas of course a circuit has got lots of hats, lots of responsibilities. The racing clubs get to focus on the races.
Absolutely that, and put on some fantastic racing and facilitate some fantastic race days, and we leave the circuit management to the circuit, and they provide a fantastic facility. I mean, anyone who's raced at Castle Combe will testify, just what a wonderful place it is to race. It's fast, it's unforgiving. That's exactly what, as a racer, that's exactly what you want. It's to a person, everyone who races there is always commented on just how fantastic it is to race.
I've got to pick up on something then, Keith. Is that accent? Speak to us. Tell me.
Okay. So I'm Zimbabwean by birth, but I've lived here for a very long time, just a touch over a quarter of a century, so slightly diluted now. But motorsport has been in my blood ever since I was a little boy, actually. And I think my folks, and especially my dad, is probably watching this broadcast from Zimbabwe as we speak. Wow. So hi, Dad. Hi, Mum. And I can remember, probably the same as you were when you were a tiny, little kid, 4 or 5 years old. We used to go off to Donnybrook Park and go and watch a racing then. And for me, Castle Combe holds that same clubmen's scenario. It is very much a clubmen's club, and that same family orientation. Even, whether you're a spectator or you're a competitor or you're an official or marshal, whoever you may be, it has that same affinity to it. So it's in terms of racing, it kind of very much makes me feel like I'm back at home, as it were. So yeah, so I grew up over in Zimbabwe. That's where my racing career sort of started, I guess. I mean, anything with wheels as a child, I was into that, and did some work with Formula 3s and touring cars. We looked after some Golf Mark II touring car in Zimbabwe, alongside some historic rallying. I did a bit of rallying, and then decided I'd move across to the UK, specifically for the fantastic weather. As we always see at Castle Combe on race day. Love the place, and here we are 25 years later. So,
yeah, that's incredible. I mean, what do you do? Let me know if I shouldn't ask this, but professionally, Keith, away from the racing.
As little as possible for as much money.
Yeah.
A bit like yourself, Chris. Yeah. No, by trade I'm a mechanic, and that's what I've done for a very long time. I've worked for Audi for a very, very long time. I still work with them, although I've moved away from being on the floor. I had a quite a significant accident some number of years ago that necessitated me moving away from being on the workshop floor permanently, and went into a more office-based technical environment, quality and technical support. And now I look after process management for our dealer network.
Fabulous. I just wanted to take this opportunity, Keith, to sort of let everybody get to know the new vice chair of the racing club. Racer, mechanic, very passionate. That's what I love hearing. That it fills us all. I'm sure I speak for everyone in a lot of confidence as well. You are very personable. You do love getting to the circuit, and you and your good lady are actually, as long as we're able to with the weather, driving the winner's car this Saturday.
Well, it's probably the only chance I'm going to get in the winner's car, isn't it? So, and I have to say, Chris, I'm not even allowed to drive the winner's car either. That accolade has been bumped as well. So I'm on the radio, and so,
Fair enough.
she's driving. So it's always a pleasure. As I said before, race day doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of people, and any little bit of help we can offer to make that go ahead is what we'll do.
No, bless you. That is really, really cool. The GT Championship this year, not going to lie, the numbers have been sort of up and down, the nature of the beast. But possibly a clue into that is that the cars that are there have been probably the best I've ever seen
for a very, very long time. And absolute echelon of competitiveness. The cars we currently have competing would and do sometimes carry across to British GT and GT Cup and right at the cutting edge of where we need to be. And certainly some of the drivers that we have, phenomenal, world class. You look at what Dylan's capable of performing at in his Ginetta, keeping some very, very well-renowned machinery in check. The competition we had last year was between Dylan and Doug. Obviously, this year we've got a very similar scenario, and Jordan in his new Lamborghini coming along, and his lap time since his confidence is building in that car, his lap times are absolutely tumbling. Sasha has obviously put cat amongst the pigeons in terms of his abilities for sure, but it's phenomenal to see. It's just I don't know if you obviously saw last race day when he didn't actually acknowledge it or didn't see the checkered flag, and then ran a 1 minute 3 lap. A bit of a bittersweet moment for him.
Yeah,
he's got eyes on that this time out. So.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider, I mean, obviously we've heard that Craig Dolby, another big name, is back racing again, and of course he got this year broke the lap record for GT cars that had stood since the British GTs were racing here back in the Power Tour Super Days in reality. But as you rightly said, Sasha Kakad out in that Lamborghini Huracan GT3 car didn't count, as you say, because it was after the checkered flag and he actually got in trouble for it. But we knew that was a very strong possibility that was coming, didn't we?
It was nearly a second quicker than Craig's lap, yeah. So I don't, like to see whether Craig's back in Nigel's Lamborghini, just to see set the record straight. We'll find out on Saturday for sure. Whichever way you cut it, it's going to be some phenomenal racing at the sharp edge. You obviously don't discount Dave Scaramanga in his Ferrari, in the Urban Tuning Ferrari. Yeah. Because he's certainly getting to grips with that car very quickly and is an exceptionally quick driver as well. So it's all to play for in terms of wins on the day for sure. Championship is where it is.
Well, on the championship front is that Dylan Popovic is a lot more in control than he was this time last year.
He certainly is.
He is. But it's still not a foregone. He's on 40 points at the moment, and around him, Josh Smith on 34, Philip Young on 29, etc. So, but Dylan, if he wins both of his races, he, assuming my maths is correct, could get up to 64. But Josh Smith isn't that far behind, and if Dylan got a bit of bad luck or anything like that, he could come through and steal it in that ridiculous weapon of a Caterham, brilliantly prepared by students as well. And again, showing the eclectic mix of cars, isn't it?
Phenomenal car, yeah, absolutely. And obviously we've got a big mix of cars. If Craig's in the mix now as well, and with Sasha joining us, and of course it's all to play for really on the day. It
is. And Chris Everall, he's had a bit of bad luck this year in that monstrous Ginetta G55, probably the deepest rumble. It's such a rumble, isn't it, that car?
It's a phenomenal car. That's even more so when it goes past you at full pace. I can assure you of that, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I bet you hear it coming, don't you?
You certainly feel it when it goes past you. So, let's hope Chris has got his concerns sorted out and put that sort of element of bad luck to bed. He's spent a phenomenal amount of time and effort getting that car to where it is in terms of trying to secure that level of reliability. So he really deserves to be right up at the sharp edge. And he's a phenomenal driver as well.
Agreed.
It's just a shame that we haven't got Alan Hamilton out this weekend either. So I spoke to Alan a couple of weeks back, and he's having no end of troubles with getting some fine tuning done on the silhouette. But again, when that car is up and running at its full capacity and full strength, there's no reason why perhaps through 2026 it shouldn't be an outright race winning car.
I agree, because that's always been a very rapid beast, isn't it? It's just a mixture of needing to do some work on it, and he openly said it sort of was grabbing him by the scruff of the neck rather than the other way round.
Absolutely, yeah, very much tail wagging the dog there. Yeah. So I think and no discredit to Alan, he's a very accomplished driver, and once he's got to grips with the car itself, I think the guys up in Class A will need to be watching what they're doing. For sure.
I agree, 100% agree on that. I'm hoping that Richard Guy will be there because everybody loves a Mosler. I mean, they are just phenomenal pieces of kit.
It's a beautiful car as well. I haven't seen it this year, but I competed with him in 2024, and it was in the Coca-Cola livery. And they really, really sort of went to great lengths to get that car onto the grid for that particular race day in August 24. And let's hope he's out in the Mosler. It's a fantastic looking bit of kit. So,
massive, isn't
it? It's huge. It's huge. I think it's about as long as it is wide. So,
it's just bonkers. It really, really is. You mentioned Jordan Billington, one of my favourite drivers. He's such a lovely, lovely guy, and it has been lovely watching his confidence grow, watching his times come down. Yeah. He's obviously had emotional time with family and what have you over the last 12 months or whatever it was, but he just gets to escape and he just enjoys it, and he feels so happy when he's out on track, and just watching him get quicker and quicker is just a sight to behold, and what racing is all about.
Absolutely is, and it was great to see him out in the new car and get to grips with it, and the support of the guys at MTech and getting that car now right up to the sharp edge where everyone's having to pay attention to not the usual stalwart of front runners, but Jordan's absolutely knocking on the door of an outright win in the next handful of races. I would imagine more comfortably becomes in the Lamborghini for sure.
No, I agree. Josh Smith, we mentioned University Centre Somerset run Caterham 7. He knows the circuit well. The family have always been racing here. David Markison in the BMW M3. Wicked piece of kit that is. And Mr. Cheese, Philip Young, out in the Mitsubishi Colt silhouette as well. It's just a wonderful... oh, no! I've just had a note from Kat. Jordan's withdrawn. So we've been waxing lyrical about him. So Jordan Billington's not racing this weekend. What a shame that is. Thanks, Kat. I know you probably didn't want to type that to us, but thank you for letting us know.
That is unfortunate, but I'm sure Jordan would have done everything possible to be there on race day, and there's no reason we can't look forward to enjoying and watching him race next year.
No, exactly right. So that's the GT Championship as it stands. Dylan Popovic will be trying to, after being so close, he just lost it at Tower. Well, no, he had his last chance to steal it away from Doug at Tower, and it wasn't quite there. This year, he's in a little bit more control, but he's got to keep his powder dry. He's got to have Lady Luck on his side, and he's got to bring that one home. And I have to say, I wouldn't begrudge him getting it because he's another one of the nicest guys in any race paddock.
He's a fantastic guy, Dylan. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough, albeit I don't really want to admit to this, but I was lapped with Doug and by both Doug and Dylan leading into Tower on that lap.
Oh yes,
I was right behind them, so I was, whilst it was frustrating to be lapped by them, but that is what it is. Different class of cars and so on. It was absolutely phenomenal to see that battle firsthand, all the way through the S's and down through Westway and down into camp as well. So, yeah, it was strangely one of the highlights of racing in 2024 to see it unfold literally in front of me while we were driving.
I love that, and they're for me, and I'm going to use this as the wrap up of this show, is that we've gone through all of the championships, how exciting it all is, how exciting this race day to look forward to on Saturday is. We've got the awards to all celebrate the year together and crown our champions officially, but our vice chair sat there at that point sharing with us the emotions and this view that you got of a championship being decided. It shows that you are a true fan of racing, you're passionate about it, and hopefully that gives everybody the feeling of that, we've got safe hands there as well. And thank you. I can't thank you enough, Keith, for coming on and sharing all of that with us.
Well, thanks very much for the invite, Chris, and I'm sure we'll catch up on Saturday.
Absolutely. Keith Johnston, thank you so much. Thank you to Kat for coming on, and Luke Cooper, our 2025 Formula 4 champion. Let's see who else gets crowned on the weekend. It's going to be a cracking day. Don't miss it. Get yourself along for Grand Finals Day. From all of us on Combe TV, have a very good evening. We'll see you soon. Cheers all.
Cheers, Chris.